And we're live. Hello and welcome to another episode of Spruecast. We weren't here last week. People were ill, loads of different reasons, but generally it just wasn't possible to come on last week. But we're back. And for those that don't know, yesterday was Mental Health Day in Britain. I believe it's called Mental Health Day. Um, it may have a different. Was it Mental Health Week? I put Mental Health Week on the YouTube label. Anyway, so I thought we would take the opportunity to have a look at that and talk about how our hobby can help people that are in various stages of mental health issues. Maybe you've got depression, anxiety, don't get out. Maybe you've got a severe disability. Sorry, go on.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. All these things. I think that our hobby works as a good, like you have physiotherapy when you break your bones and they knit them back together. I think that modelling is good therapy for many other things. Perhaps perhaps they should think about this in hospitals when they do give their advice out. I know a few people that have had problems and they've used modelling and they've really took to it. And I mean, I don't think you'll mind me saying, I mean, look at Will Patterson. Look at the horrific injuries he sustained from his motocross accident. And look at where he's at now with his model building and what he does. It's absolutely incredible. But anyway, we're going to talk more about that in a bit. So first of all, we're going to have a look around at what we've been doing, what we've bought. But first, before we do that, I just wanted to have a little bit of a moan. And I believe they call it scalping now. The term is scalping. And for those that don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but scalping is when you take something that is in high demand but not available and then sell it at an inflated price.
Recasting. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I'll come across this today with a budget store. So those, I don't know what they are in America. Over here we've got B&M, Poundland, places like that. I don't know what your equivalent stores are in America.
Dollar General.
Yeah. But so normally I go down there and I buy my nitrile gloves from there. $3.99 they are. I went down there today. I picked a box up. They'd not been priced up. And I'm walking around. I'll download their app so I can scan it while I'm walking around and see how much it is. It's gone up to £19.99 for a pack of 100 nitrile gloves, right?
Yeah, that's scalping, all right.
On offer, they'd reduced it to $14.99. I was so utterly disgusted. It was really annoying. I immediately put them down. I don't know if I've still got the I've still got the hold on. Oh, what's going on? Don't tell me I've lost it. No. Oh, I have. I've lost it. Damn it. Just as I held it up, I touched the screen and it disappeared. Oh, nuts. Hold on. Maybe I can... nitrile gloves. There can't be that many in there. nitrile gloves, and they're normally always $3.99 for 100.
Yeah,
Ah,
around
there
about
we
a
go.
fiver per box.
That's crazy.
And
It
those
is, isn't it?
are painter ones, right?
They're just
That
regular
is-
gloves. Yeah.
That's an absolute rip-off.
Yeah.
I just cannot get over that. They've gone from $3.99 to 20 quid in the space of and we all know why. We all know
Yeah.
why they've gone up. But
It's,
as far as I'm
like-
concerned, that's scalping. What's that one?
it's like- that's the rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah.
That cost me £2.99.
Right.
Right. That is £19.99 on eBay now.
And it's because they use that in the alcohol gel.
Yeah.
That's why the alcohol's gone up.
Yep.
There are
Yeah.
some people, there are some people that are just putting it in a spray bottle and they're using that to spray everything down, you know.
Yeah.
I used to get it for $1.99, the 99%, $1.99. I used to get it on sale, buy two, get two free. Now it's 7 something here in the States. If you can find it, the 99 in the stores.
Yeah.
If
I was gonna say
the 70 I'm sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I haven't been able to find the 91% in the States for probably at least 3-4 months now.
Yeah. See, I use the 99, you know, and where is it at? This stuff, I'm sorry, 91. Yeah. This stuff I used to get at the store, man, 99 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky for me,
the problem.
I've got like 8 or 9 of these behind me. And then I got a gallon of it in there that I've had for a long time. I've got this is the 91, and then I've got the 99. You can't find this stuff.
Nah.
Yeah.
And if you do, you ain't paying $1.99 for it. It went up to almost $10 for this bottle right here.
Yeah. I've got 99%, and I paid. This was after the COVID thing had started, and I think I paid £21 for it.
Well, if you're gonna, you know what though, if people are using whatever, I don't know what you're using it for, but I know, like with me, I use it to wipe down a 3D print or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm using it for, and making my own thinners
Right,
and stuff
making
like
my own thinner. What I do now is, and I've done this before years ago, and I have 2 big cans of it, is denatured alcohol.
that. I've heard about this.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
I've heard about. I've seen it in other videos. I've seen people mention denatured
Yeah.
alcohol.
If you can't find it, just go to the hardware store and buy a can of denatured alcohol. Denatured alcohol will run you about $7, and you know what? It works just as well as isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah. Well, I stopped using isopropyl to wash my resin ones in, and I use Flash. I don't know if you get Flash over there.
I don't know.
It's
I know, like if it comes to a point where I can't find, I'm just gonna go get a bottle of Everclear. I mean,
so I wash my resin prints in this.
And they smell lemony when you're done with them.
Yeah. You've got the whole lemony fresh scent. And it works. It does work. It works. I was a bit dubious at first, but when I saw how much the isopropyl alcohol was and how much I was using, I thought I can't afford to keep that up. So a bottle of this is one. I got this for £1, and it's 2 liters. So, and I just use this, and like you say, it doesn't. It gets rid of that horrible stink as well. So, yeah. So that, I digressed a bit there. I had a little bit of a moan about scalping, and just really annoys me. It's something
You
really.
want to know the crazy one? Go look up the webcam that we all use. Remember how you could?
Yeah. Don't
like-
get started on that. No,
I
you've
bought
got me
mine
started on
for.
that.
I bought the webcam and the mic that I use for $100. You can't find this webcam now for under 125. And if you do, I won't.
What do you have, Josh?
I have the 920.
All right. The C920, when I first bought it, was $70.
Yeah.
6 years ago, 7 years ago. And then I bought a router for my house, and they gave me one for free. Then I bought another one, brand new, $35. Brand new, the C920, because they were phasing the C920 out. So you can get it for under $50.
Yeah.
Look up on Amazon what they want for that C9. $279 for that camera. For this camera right here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Oh dear. It's so annoying. I refuse point blank to pay it. I'd rather not. I would not go online rather than have to pay 200 quid.
Well, it doesn't matter if you go online or not. It's all the stores. It's
everybody. They priced them at 100% upmark, and it's all because people are shut in. They're using the Zoom and all this other stuff like this here. Everybody's buying them. You know, if you look on Amazon, a lot of times out of stock, and they're paying these crazy prices. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of them. And I was going to give these to, one to my daughter, one to my grandson, my daughters, whatever. And I was going to upgrade mine. I ain't upgrading them soon. Nope.
No.
Nope. I was going to go to the 4K. I'm like, nope. Trying to look up a 4K camera. Whoo! Like, nope.
It's an astronomical amount.
I got to sell a lot of figures, man, to upgrade these damn cameras now.
So who gets that money, though? Who gets that? We know.
You have, let's, for shits and grins, let's just say Logitech.
Yeah.
Their suggested retail price for this camera before COVID hit, the C920, was $70. They weren't selling them. So, you go on Amazon, you can get, if you buy something, they were giving you one. Or
every now and then they would, so about twice a year, they would offer them for 25 quid each. About $24.
And even then, people weren't buying them because you already have them. So their I believe the last time I looked, their suggested manufacturer retail price for this damn camera was $200.
Yeah.
And then you got the seller that's adding another $50 on top of that. And then, of course, Amazon wants their little change, so they add $10 on top of that. And then you got free shipping. Oh, God, you're going to give me free shipping. You just up the price 200%, and then now you're going to give me free shipping? Nope.
It rocks.
Yep, it's going to happen. I'll keep using these until they die. That's why I only have this one right now running. The other two, the other 4, they just sit there. I got one sitting on a bench behind me. I got one in the room back there, and then I got the 3 up here. And I only use one. So if one dies, switch to the next one.
I would rather use a baked bean tin and a bit of string.
Yeah, it's where we live in.
Although, having said that, if I'm put in a position where I haven't got a camera and a microphone, I bet I probably would end up paying for one.
Well, it's the same thing with that microphone. This microphone I have, it's that Blue Yeti. The big one, the Blue Yeti. When I bought that microphone, I got it on a Christmas sale, and it was a damaged box. There was nothing wrong with the microphone. The box was dented. Yeah. And I paid, under $100 for it with free shipping. Try to buy that now for that price.
Well, I bought this. I've got the blue one.
Yeah, the little round one? Yeah.
I paid 20 quid for that.
Yeah, you ain't going to get that for 20 quid now.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
on Black Friday, I got that microphone that Mark just showed, and this camera. I don't think I paid $60 for it. It's ridiculous, you know.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so what have we been doing this week? What have we been working on or buying? So I know that Gil has got. Was you going to show that tonight?
Yeah, if you want to see it, let me switch my camera real quick so you can look instead of trying to do this.
Gil has got a rather nice piece. We'll go with Gil first.
All right, this is a print from NY3D Creations. It's a Vampirella. So here's her little bat right there. You know, I just did the bat, and the base. Let me show you the base real quick. Get my coffee out of the way so I don't knock it over. This is the base. So I haven't even started on the base yet, and it's got this tombstone that sits on there like that, and then she stands in front of it. You got a bat that's keyed. It could fit in here, but I went with the traditional pose, so I cut the key off, and I wanted it on her wrist here, the way it is in the comic books. So when I'm done with her, I'll glue this, if I can get it in there without scratching the paint. That'll sit like that on the wrist. And this is her head that I'm working on.
Look at that. Can you get a bit closer with that, or yeah, look at that. I said to Gil earlier when he showed me this, that looks like fine bone china.
Yeah.
The finish on that is like that eggshell china you get.
Now I got to go in and touch up a few things. I'm working on her makeup now. You see the shadow on the eyes there.
Yeah, you got them. Them eyes are perfect. The eyes are some of the things that modelers like us have the most trouble with.
Well, those are decals, right?
These eyes are those decals, but here's the caveat. They're Archer decals. And then when you get them, you got to put a debonder on them. But it doesn't matter how much debonder you put on the damn things. Once you put it in the water and you go to slide it off the paper, the color comes off. Happens all the time to me. I don't know why. So what I ended up doing was I put the decals in only because the iris, the black around the iris, stays in there, and then the pupil, the little black dot, the pupil. So I had to go in with some Tamiya clear green, to touch that up.
Yeah.
I had to go in with Tamiya clear green. If I can get it.
No, it's good. There you go.
Yeah.
And then you see that little white dot? That's paint. That's white paint.
Yeah.
So that's Tamiya clear green. I mean, it's a decal, but most of that color had come off. So I had to go in with some clear green. I had to go in with clear green and then touch it up. And let me tell you something, man. Don't drink coffee when you do that. Your hand is doing this,
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I mean, if I've had luck with them on bigger figures, but when you get to like a 1/8 scale and smaller, those decals are real fragile. But
I've got those decals you're on about, and I've had no success with them at all.
Yeah.
Granted, I've only tried 2 models, but my issue was the amount of carrier film that was on them.
Yeah. See, there's her back. Now I was thinking about going in with oils, but I don't know if I want to. I'm thinking about leaving her alone, just the way she is. We'll see. That can change in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but she still needs a gloss coat here because I went in and touched that up. The paint I used on this was this stuff right here, the AK paint. Her base tone. What did I do with it? Is this one right here, the basic skin tone by AK? Come on, you damn camera. You can never get it. There it is. The basic skin tone from AK. That's her basic. She's primed in black, basic skin tone. Then I went in with the luminescent skin tone from AK. This is the third gen paint. And then when that was all done, I go in with my favorite. This to me is probably the best female flesh tone out there, at least to me. Anybody? I mean, I'm sure there are people that say nope. But this is the if I can get it, the Fairy Tale Flesh from Badger Minotaur. Look at that. It's got it's not showing real good in the camera, but it's got a real nice rosy look to it. And that's what you see there. The little rosiness. Like right in there, right on her, breast there, back here on her bum, and then on her back there. So and I found. Now this is these were sent to me by a good friend of ours, Brett, over at High Altitude Hobbies.
Yeah.
He wanted me to try them out because he sells them, so he wanted me to try them out to see how they worked. And I tried on different things before because I wanted to use them on her. As soon as I saw her, I told Mike I wanted it. I bought it because I wanted to try this out on it.
Yeah.
Before I did that, I did a couple of test pieces with different thinners. I tried Vallejo. I didn't like the way it came out. It's not bad. You can make it work, but it was more work than it was worth. I tried the MIG ammo stuff. It works. Yeah, it's not bad. I found water. I don't like water with it because it doesn't separate the pigment as well. This stuff is highly pigmented, very good coverage, but they're thinner. They're acrylic thinner. Now, again, AK don't give me anything, so I'm not shilling for them.
Yeah.
I'm just trying it out to tell a friend what I think of them. I like them. The one that impressed me the most, to be honest with you, is the white. I put two coats.
White. Yeah. I don't like white when it comes to spray.
This is in the white. And that's one coat over black.
Really?
Yep. That's one coat over black primer.
Damn.
That is good. I hate spraying white.
One coat over black primer. So their white is really good. And it is what it says, man. It says intense colors. They are intense, man. They're really nice,
So that's purely down to the amount of pigment in the paint.
It's very, very it covers well. It's got like it says, intense. Now the red, I didn't use this red because I wanted something a little darker. This is a deep red. So I went with my Citadel was Daka red, and you can see why.
Yeah.
See the difference?
Yeah, you can. Citadel paints are really nice.
So I went with this. I was going to go with a Mephiston red, but that was too dark. So when I laid it down, and I didn't thin it with water. I thinned it with I very rarely use water anymore. I thin them with this.
Glaze medium.
The Vallejo glaze medium. I put it. There's a glass tape. There's a piece of glass here. So I'll put a drop of the glaze medium here. I'll put my paint and I'll dip my brush into the glaze medium, mix the paint, and flip right over. And it goes on buttery smooth. Buttery smooth. With this.
So what's this glaze medium? Is that just another is that a fancy term for?
It's a glazing fluid. It's a glazing fluid. When you're adding different layers, you're glazing it. You're adding very thin, very, very thin layers. To build up the color. That's a glaze. I can go over this, say with a purple, and thin it with this, and make it real watery, real like a wash almost, and glaze it on and build up the highlights. I liked it. Now the problem with this is if you use too much, it'll thin it down too much. So you got to be careful when you use this. But I've been using this for the last year or so. Very rarely do I use water. I mean, I got right there. There's water right over here, and I only use that my brush. This is what I use to thin my paint when I'm brush painting. I'll even add a drop of this sometimes into the airbrush, mix it in, it shoots out beautifully. This stuff here, I find with water has a tendency, if you use too much, water has a tendency to separate pigment. There's no binder in it, so it'll separate the pigment. The more water you put in, of course, the more separation you get.
Yeah.
That has a binder in it, so when you use it, it doesn't separate the pigment. So when you lay it down, it's just beautiful. Try it. You can get it. It's relatively cheap on Amazon or wherever you get it. Try that when you're painting. I'll tell you what, you'll never go to water. You'll just walk away from the water. The other thing I'm doing is I got a commission build for this. Now I've done one of these. I've done two of these before. No, one. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Who's that?
Yeah, this is the Lady Deadpool. Now, of course, she doesn't have her arm here because I'm gonna paint her and then put the arm on. I got it here. This one here. She comes with a sword or a gun. So I've got that to where it'll fit right in there, where there's no seam in there. So I'm able to paint all this and then paint this and then slap it on there later. And then here's a little ponytail. That sits right in there, like so.
Right.
So.
Hey, Mark, that's a Xanax file, just so you know.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Right, it is. Yeah. So that's the Lady Deadpool. So that's a commission bill that as soon as I'm done with her, jump on her. When I'm done with her, get back to the two cars that I'm doing.
So, Josh, is that one of the free ones we get each month?
No, that's one. That file's probably 2 years old, but that very easily could be his best figure. That Lady Deadpool is really, really good.
Yeah, she's once she's. I mean, I don't know. You've seen the one I did before, right, Mark?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I gave her to Ken over at Badger, so she's sitting at Badger's headquarters right now. Badger Airbrush. So
just all the detail that's on that costume is like
look at that.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, hold on. Look at the ridges.
Oh, man.
Look at all the ridges in there. Now, of course, all this has got to get cleaned up, and I'll clean all that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's look, you can see all the texture in there.
I'm not thinking of texture.
Yeah, but there she is right there.
I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm not thinking of texture.
This is as soon as I'm done with Vampirella, I'm going to start working on her. And then once she's done, she goes home, goes to her new home, and I'll just bust out the two cars that I'm doing. I want to get those done. So that's what I'm doing.
Do you have the car next to you, Gil?
Which one? The purple one or the black one?
The purple one.
Yeah, it's right. Let me get it off the table here.
You should show that real quick. That came out really good.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Let me bring that back up.
Yeah, give me a sec. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't. Okay, Josh, you put me on the spot, man.
Hey, you're used to it. Get over it.
No.
Yeah, you're a professional, Gil.
Here is the black one. When I was scoring the trunk, I ended up. What did I do with it? What did I do with the body? Holy shit! I don't know what I did with the body.
Oops.
It's here. I just I moved it to get it off of away from me banging around on it and stuff. But I'll be damned, man. I don't know what I did with it. Hold on.
All right, so what's Mark been working on?
I'll be done. It's here somewhere. I moved it so I didn't smack it around.
Yeah.
But this is the purple one here. You know what? Is it in the box? There it is. All right. Now, this is the black one. It's got my fingerprints all over it. This is where I screwed it up, right here.
Yeah.
So I need to sand all this down and reshoot that. But that's the black one. And then this one is the purple one.
Ooh.
That is so good.
Damn, that's nice. You do the same as me with the really nice ones. You wrap it in a nice soft cloth.
Yeah. That's the purple one.
That is so good. I love that color.
And that's straight out of a rattle can.
It's not a blemish on that. It's
And-
amazing.
The black one was shot through an airbrush. And this one was shot through, again, my fingerprints are all over it, so I need to buff it out. See, I got to buff out a spot there.
Yeah.
And then fix this back here. But yeah, this is the black one right here. And this is, I mean, she's pretty too. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. Once you polish that up, that will look as good as the other one.
Yeah. Just needs a little fix this and then polish that down, and there she is. Yep. That's what I've been doing. You put her back in her little towel.
Who's going next?
What have you been working on, Mark?
Oh, I'm going next. Okay. So I'm still working on the A6. Somebody help me with the name. A6
Intruder.
A6 Intruder. But this time I've made some progress. So the last few times when I brought it up, I've done nothing. But this time I have managed to do a bit. It's a beautiful jet, the A6. This is the kinetic one. And the instructions for this kit are dire. The whole build from the kinetic one has been, let's say, difficult. Instructions have been wrong. Numbered pieces have been wrong. Instructions have been completely vague in some respects. They've just no rhyme or reason to how they've worked it out. Right down to the, I haven't checked this particular fact out, but the refueling probe on the instructions, it's got it on the, as you look at the plane, it's on the left-hand side, which is where I was going to put it. But it was pointed out to me that on all photos of the real A6, it's on the right-hand side as you look at it. So it'd be the left-hand side as the pilot looks at it, I guess. But anyway, it's been extremely awkward and difficult. And I've got the wheels on. I've got the front wheel left to do. I've got to touch up the ladder at the front there. I got the arrestor hook done and painted. And now all I've got to do are the massive array of weapons that comes with it. And probably one of the most difficult parts of this build for me is going to be the folding of the wings. I've already done lots of work on them. They've got this piece that goes in here. And this
mechanism.
Sorry?
The hinge mechanism.
Yeah, the hinge mechanism. And believe me, it's awkward. For me, I've never done a hinged wing before. So, if you're out there thinking, oh, it's dead easy to do, then, please forgive me. Let me just try and find the hinge mechanism is so many pieces. So this is one of the, so you've got two pieces on the wing itself that look like that. You put one in there, and then there's an equal one that goes on the other side. Then you've got this piece here, which slots into the holes on there, and then the holes on the opposite side as well. But then you also have another piece which has to connect in. I can't find it at the moment. And I tried the other night to do a dry fit, and I just don't have enough hands. Basically, that was the problem. I couldn't hold. You've got to hold the jet, the wing, and that hinge piece all at the same time. It's really awkward. So I'm at that stage. I've got to paint them, so they've got to. And the everything is so. The weapons. So normally these come in two halves. This is actually made of each bomb is 6 pieces that needs putting together. And there's I think there's 6, 12, 18, I think there's 24 in total.
24.
Yeah, 24 in total. And then you've got, there's no shortage of weaponry. I will say that for Kinetic. You get a sprue. Bear with me while I just find it. There you go. You get 2 of these sprues. And on them, they have this huge...
Harpoon.
Sorry, Gordon.
It's a harpoon.
Harpoon. Now, you might be able to answer this for me. On that same sprue, you can either have this length or this length.
Yeah, well, the one with the dome head is the harpoon.
Yeah.
The one with the flat head has a camera in the nose, and that's the slammer.
Right, so, sorry, which one's this one?
Slammer.
That's the slammer.
That's the slammer. That has the camera in the front.
Yeah, with a clear plastic lens over the nose.
Oh, right. I did wonder why it didn't have the point there.
Yeah.
And then you get an option there. You get 2 of those in with the kit. I went with the long one because obviously I've got inadequacy issues. So, bigger and longer. And then I've got a second one, which I might make a bit shorter. Depends how I feel on the day. And then, and that's where I'm at with that. So I've been suffering with a bit of a lack of mojo. We're going to discuss that in a minute. That's where I'm up to. I don't think I've done anything else, to be honest. It's still the A6. It'll probably be that for another couple of weeks, maybe. We'll see. But I have to say, it is a beautiful jet. And I sit there looking at it, and I think of all the trouble I've had with it. But as I sit and look at it now, I feel it was worth it. I didn't give up on it. I didn't send it back as, what is it they say? Not fit for purpose or whatever. It was a challenge, and I accepted it and built it. I'm quite pleased with the fact that I've done that. It was, a bit awkward, but I got there. And that's what modeling's about. So there we go. And that's me. So who wants to go next?
Hey, Gordon, what do you want to do, man? You want to go next, or you want to go after me?
Yeah, you go and put me up next, man, Mark.
Right, okay. There you go. You're off.
Right. So what have I been up to? Sticking things together with solder.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, what?
Oh, wow. That's changed a lot since I last saw it.
What is that?
That's the unit that starts up the jet.
That's it. This is called the Huchin Ground Power Unit.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's it. Right, that's it there. All right. this is how it all started out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So yeah, it's been fun relearning old soldering techniques, but yeah, it's basically a series of boxes.
You've done a cracking job on that, Gordon.
Yeah. Looks good.
But it look a lot better when it's been cleaned up, because in there is where all the pressure gauges and the dials go. And what I've got left to do here now is to build up the this piece. That there is all the dials. This builds up to the towing part that goes underneath, it's like a bogey at each end. Right. And you get
Nice.
back of tyres and leaf springs and stuff. And that's to go with the big tornado when the final reveal comes.
Nice.
So that's what I've been burning my fingers on. And I decided to go back to using some of that stuff called glue. So I dug this out.
Ah, nice.
Oh wow, that's a drone, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. And to me, it looks a bit like an alien.
Yeah, it does. Like the alien head.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it looks like something else and all, but we won't go there.
He's got it on the brain tonight, animated Josh.
You should have been in some of the hangouts we've had this week.
I can
imagine.
That's the fuselage, right? And there's the wings.
It's going to be a big one.
Right. So if I just clip these together to give you a rough idea how big this bird is.
Wow.
That's nice.
Right. Now, if you compare that to,
And that's a kinetic kit, isn't it?
yeah, right. Now, a lot of people know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Lady.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is. I'll be honest, I don't know what that is.
Man, the wingspan is bigger. Yeah, look at that.
Right, and this has got another piece to go on the end, about another 2 to 3 inches on the wingtip.
All right.
So I knew this was big until I built this and stuck it at the side of the old U2. I didn't realise how big this was.
So can I just ask, what is a Dragon Lady?
You
I've
two
never heard-
It's a spy plane.
Right. Who is it? A British one, American one?
No, it's the American one, built by Lockheed, Skunk Works.
And is it still in service today? Or
Oh, they say it isn't, but yeah.
We've got 2 of them based over at RF Fairford over here at the minute, which is geared up like this, because I think this is either senior span or senior spur, because it's got the radar dish on the top and the long end pendage on the nose. So yeah, that's my U2 I'm working on. This is the old Italeri kit, right?
yeah.
And it's got a few fit issues, but nothing that can't be dealt with. But the biggest problem with this kit is it's got raised panel lines.
Oh
By
no!
the time you've finished sanding, you've rubbed back most of them off. So what I've done, I don't know when are you going to see them. Yeah,
Oh, you rescribed them.
I've rescribed the whole aircraft.
Oh God! I'm no good at rescribing. To me, that would have been. See, if I'd have done that, that whole wing would have just looked like crazy paving.
It's tell you what, it's not been easy. It's drove me around the twist at times, but the biggest problem have had with it, because it's still technically a classified aircraft, it's been a case of trying to find decent photographs of the panel lines. So
how can it be classified if they've actually made a model of it?
well, it's a rough representation of it.
Well, yeah, there's photos of them. It's just you're not gonna get super in-depth photos of them though.
Yeah, and this has been the problem. But I did manage to get my hands on a set of 72nd scale drawings of the U2, and I scaled them up. But the downside to it was the plans that I got was the U2A to C, which is the very early one. But there's still a lot in common between the A to the C and this one, which once it's done. So I've converted an ordinary pilot into an astronaut to put in the seat.
Yeah.
And this will be the U2S, which is the latest version of it. Well, the last version of it. But that's what I've been doing at the minute, tinkering between the brass and burning my fingers, the drone, and doing a bit on the old U2. So that's what I've been on with.
What about you, Josh?
Josh, you're up. I've just got to go to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute.
So I've basically been working on this guy. It's not perfect by any means, but I'm getting there. I kind of this last week I took a little bit of orange and kind of tried to highlight the cape a little bit, and then I've got it finally a dark enough green. Now I got to go in and start putting some details in the skin, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with all the white spots on the body of that lizard. I'm going to eat. I don't know. I'm either going to do like a light brown or a bone color. I'm not really sure. And then the other thing, I actually bought an airbrush station. I've put that together this week. I'm actually going to build a bench for it. So I actually have an airbrush station in my garage that'll vent outside, and it's a cool airbrush kit. It's got a couple things that I don't like about it, but it's going to work just great for what I paid for it.
Yep.
Normally that is like $400 or $500, and I was able to pick it up for like 85. So it was a great deal.
Yeah.
Great deal. But yeah, hopefully, sometime throughout the week I'll be able to work on the bench, but we'll see how school goes this week with my son to figure out some stuff. I want to start doing another car, but I want to get the airbrush station built first so I can actually have a place to paint it.
There you go. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they're did I hear you say that normally your airbrush station's $500?
Yeah, this airbrush station, if you bought it brand new today, it'd be $580 something. I think now it's on sale for $4 something.
All right. So where's the fans on that? Are they at the back or at the bottom?
So the black thing underneath is what holds the fans.
Is it one fan or two?
I'm gonna guess one.
Right.
I mean, it's basically got a 4-inch opening out the back or the side there, and it's got a decent fan inside of it. I mean,
it's one fan. If it would have been two, you'd have had two exhaust ports on there.
Now, see,
I've got two fans in my my spray booth, and I've only got one outlet. But there's two fans.
Oh, we got one outlet. Okay, so they're both vented out to one outlet. Cool.
Yeah. There's two fans and the outlets on the top as well, which is better because normally they pump them out the back, and you've got a little less space to work with.
I don't know. The bottom ones are pretty good too, because it'll keep it from clouding up. You know, that's the principle of it. You know.
Yeah, the portable one I have goes out the back, which is kind of irritating sometimes. But I haven't used one with a downforce yet, so we're gonna see how I like that.
Yeah, the big one I got in the other room there, that vents out through the top. It's got a massive fan in there too.
Yeah,
what makes yours, Gordon? Gil, sorry.
It's from a company called Pace, Pace.
Oh yeah, I know that company.
It's probably about the size of my desk here. It's pretty big. It's about almost 3 feet long, about 1.5 feet tall, or no, 2 feet, 2.5 feet tall, and it's pretty deep. So it's a big unit. It takes up most of the desk in the other room.
Yeah. I know some people have these Bambi ones, don't they? Which are very quiet apparently, but they're very expensive.
See, I have the portable one, and it just by the time you set it up, get everything set up, and then tear down, and I just don't have a good spot in here yet to keep it up full time. So
the one I have,
hey Mark, put it back on all of us.
Yeah, this is the one I got, Mark. I can show you real quick. Where is it? Oh, wrong one. Let me go back. That's okay. Let's see. The one I have is with Chrome tab. Where the hell are we? Yeah.
This one?
That one right there. See it?
Yep.
That's the one I have.
All right, I'm with you.
Oh yeah, I've seen videos of that in the background. That's actually pretty good size.
Yeah, I think.
Look at the price of that. That's almost $800.
Yeah, but when my wife bought it for me for Christmas one year, and we didn't pay that much for it. I think at the time it was probably about $450, somewhere around there. It's gone up in price. Yeah. It didn't cost that much when we first got it.
Yeah, but a good air compressor is a nice thing to have.
Yeah, if I were to sit it on that table behind me, I wouldn't have any room left. I'd have very little room left for anything else.
Is it noisy or?
You don't hear it. I turn it on, you don't hear it. Whisper quiet, don't hear it.
So I know we're not doing compressors today, but one of the things that people make a mistake with is when they buy the cheap. So most people buy the cheap compressor. You know the one I mean, that's $70, $70.
I got one.
Doesn't have a tank on it, and they turn it on and they use it for extended periods. So what happens is if you keep doing that on a regular basis, it will pack up after about.
Oh yeah, you're gonna blow the valves on the inside. They're not bad. I mean, if you
they're not bad if you use them correctly.
Yeah, I mean, for someone like me, I paint every day. So
yeah, so it'd be absolutely worthless for you to buy one of those.
I mean, I've got one. I gave it to my son-in-law.
Yeah.
Number one, it just keeps running over and over again every time. They're not bad if you're doing smaller projects, things like that. They're not bad. I mean, they're okay. But if you're going to do extended painting, you want a tank, man. You want something with a tank on it.
And not just an ordinary. Like I've got the basic one with a tank, and it's probably at my limit at the moment because when I start spraying it gets hot and I'm using it a lot. So I'm probably at the stage now where I need to look at either getting a bigger tank or a better compressor. But anyway.
Always one's bigger.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So I always want bigger. Yeah.
Always
Right.
want. In that the show.
So many innuendos tonight. Anyway, so the purpose of tonight was that. Sorry, Josh, had you finished or?
No, we're good. We can move on.
So the purpose of tonight really was the mental health side of things. Now, everybody knows I don't hide the fact that I've suffered from depression. I get it quite bad, and there's various reasons why. Without going into too much depth, I lost my leg, and I've gone from being. So I was somebody that was always out, always doing stuff, always, nightclubs, stuff like that. And I've completely gone the opposite way since I lost my leg. I don't go out, and it's kind of become a really big problem now because I get panic attacks now when we have to go out. And it's just really bizarre because that's not the sort of thing I used to have a problem with. I'm a very social person. I used to mix a lot. But now I find that whenever we go out or whenever we've got to go out, I start suffering from panic attacks. And so rewinding a few years ago, I had nothing to do around the house, absolutely nothing. I'd play computer games, and I was in such a state because there was nothing for me to do. And I bought a model for my son to build. It was a Christmas present I'd bought him a few years back. And it got around to about June or July, and he hadn't touched it. So I thought I would give it a go. And that was all it took. And I have to say, it has helped me so much. I've gone again from being that reclusive person that I was after I lost my leg. I now do so much on YouTube. I do a lot on YouTube to try and promote the hobby. I try and help those that have mental health issues like I've had and like I've seen many people have, and I try and help those. And that's my whole ethos. Everything I do on this channel and on this podcast, everything I do is for people that are suffering with mental health issues and for the hobby to get it out there. There's so much good it can do.
Yeah.
We've got people, and I'm going to use Will Patterson because what he has achieved is just stellar. The guy had a nasty motocross accident. I think he broke his back, didn't he? And now he's used modeling, and he creates some fantastic work. He's very much sought after in terms of people asking his opinion or his advice, or and he's achieved all that. And I think Dave Price mentioned earlier that, and in fact, I'll just read what he said. He said, "My doctor told me to get into a hobby to help with my work-related stress and anxiety several years ago." And he was right. And yeah, that's it. I don't think doctors need to, they're all too often they would say go running or go to a gym or something like that. We're not all built for a gym. I'm not built for a gym. In fact, I went to a gym and they refused to accept me. Their insurance wouldn't cover them because of my heart condition. It was. So I'm going to throw it open because there's so many aspects of this that are relevant now more than ever, with the COVID disease pandemic rampant. People can't go out, so now is the time for people go down to Hobby Lobby, whatever it's called in America, or what's it over here, Gordon?
Hobbycraft.
Hobbycraft, that's it, yeah. Hobbycraft, buy a model, get yourself a model, a bottle of Tet, if they've got it. You can work on the paints as you go along, or often when you go into these shops, the paints will be listed on the back. On the back of the box somewhere, it'll have a list of the paints you need or a few different coloured icons. You can get them while you're there. Take it home, sit down with it, and just start building. I guarantee you it's a great stress reliever. Anyway, I'm going to let somebody else speak now because I've waffled on for long enough.
I have found in the years that I've been doing this, I've come across quite a few people that had some form of problem, whether it be PTSD or depression or whatever, ADHD, whatever. And early on, I realized that, you have to be compassionate to these people. I mean, you can't let them run out. There's sometimes, some people were just too far broken that it was just, Josh knows what I'm talking about. You just got to cut them loose, because what ends up happening is that, they cause a lot of trouble, is for better lack of a word. But for the most part, I have found that most of the people that I have encountered, quite a few of them, are military vets. Either they were on the police force and something or another, affected them, or just generally, some problem. And the best way to deal with that is to get your mind onto something else. If you're, that's what I have found. I'm no doctor, but when you're talking to these people and they open up to you, you generally find that the hobby is if their hands are busy, their mind is busy, they're not sitting in a room somewhere, in a darkened room somewhere, thinking some suicidal thoughts or some morbid thoughts. You know what I mean? They're busy. Yeah. The mind is busy. The hands are busy. It gives them a little relief. It doesn't cure it, of course, but it gives them a little relief, to do something, and then they find a community and they belong, and then they don't have to, oh, look, my name is so-and-so and I'm suffering from depression. You don't have to go out and say that, because, when you're dealing with people, you kind of realize real quick, man, there's something wrong with this brother, or sister, whatever. But it's not something you speak unless they're the ones that talk about it,
Yeah.
But yeah, you find a lot of people like that, man. I've encountered quite a few of them myself.
It is. And another thing I find is you get into, so when I first got into this, all right, let me try and, all right, I'm going to tell you something that I don't have any friends local. I don't have people that will ring me up and ask me if I want to go for a beer or anything like that. I don't have anyone like that. It's just me and Angela. And we've got each other, and that's it. But there's times when you need to talk to other people.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got other people to talk to, it causes more problems to you. You may not realize it at the time, but it all builds up. You have to have an outlet.
Well, yeah, because you're not alone with your thoughts then.
Yeah. And what I found was when I got into, so initially I got in with a group of guys, and they were great. And, you know, I just loved them to bits. And you would get talking to them, and you would start opening up about things that have happened, and before you know it, you've told somebody, you know, without even realizing it, you've mentioned stuff that you probably wouldn't even tell a counselor. And there's a weight that's been lifted just by talking to some person. One night, the weight has been lifted off your shoulders a bit.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. What's that, Josh?
I was gonna say that's very true, Mark. But now we're all gonna charge you $46.95, right?
Right. Yeah. First of all, why 46.95?
What was that?
Why 46.95? That's a really random number.
It's one easy to say.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather me charge you $285? I can go either way. More is better for me. I can buy more kits.
Yeah, but there you go. You brought up a brilliant point there. That yes, I don't know how it is in over here. If you're on the NHS, you would get psychiatric help. I take that as a no over there.
Yeah. There's nothing for free in America.
Yeah. I think I love our NHS. There's ridiculously, there's people over here that disagree with it.
Until they need it.
Yeah, it's just odd that they think America's got a better system than we have, and this is, I completely disagree. Having been through the NHS so many times with so many injuries, if I'd have been in America, I wouldn't have survived. No. Because
if you can't pay for it, you're shit out of luck.
No, I wouldn't have survived without a doubt. My first major accident was at the age of, I think it was 19, 20. And that was 3 months in hospital with 3 or 4 operations. We're talking thousands of pounds worth of, they're not cheap. Medicine is not cheap. And I really feel sorry for those of you in America that don't have insurance. It must be a terrifying prospect to wonder if you need medical assistance and you cannot have it because you don't have enough money. I don't know what happens in that situation. So if you let's say you're having a heart attack, the ambulance comes out. What do you say? I've got no money, and they just leave you there, or?
Oh, you can refuse them, but an ambulance ride in the States will run you a couple of grand.
No, they charge you for that.
$4,000 or something like that. Yeah,
a few thousand. Oh yeah, they charge you for that.
Yep. Oh my God!
I remember when my wife was sick, she had a bad reaction because she's got an autoimmune, and we took her to the doctor, and one of her lungs had filled up with fluid, and the other one was filling up with fluid. So the doctor at the clinic, he says, I'm going to call an ambulance. I'm like, fuck you are. I got her in the car, and I got her to the hospital faster than the ambulance could have gotten there. But yeah, that would have run me a few $1,000s just for that. And then when I get to the hospital, now she can't breathe. I'm waiting in the emergency room. They finally take her in when they realize how bad she is.
Yeah.
She's sitting in there. She got her on oxygen, and this lady walks in with a clipboard, and she starts questioning me on how I'm going to pay for this. And I told her, if you don't get out of this goddamn, I said, if you don't get out of this goddamn room, you're going to be shitting that goddamn clipboard out. You know, don't worry about it. I have insurance, but no, they would not see her until I showed them my insurance card. She could be dying. She was dying. It wouldn't take her unless they knew she had insurance.
So let me get this right. If she'd had no insurance, they would have let her die.
Who knows what would have happened, but she wouldn't have been seen right away.
That's appalling.
That's America.
And I'm at a loss as to how we've got people in this country that think that's better.
I was talking to a friend of mine. I can't remember. I'm not going to mention his name. He's from the UK. And his wife, a few years ago, his wife had a baby.
Yeah.
So this is right around the time that my grandson was born. About 8 years ago. Anyway, he was telling me that, you know, she had the baby, you know, they gave her a little gift box, all this other stuff. I said, they must have charged you a fortune for that. He said, mate, I didn't pay a dime. And I told him, I says, you know what? When my kids were born, I still remember the last one, my youngest daughter, $16,000.
Yep.
Oh my God.
$16,000. Now, Josh, your little one. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And that's
okay. We'll get to me at some point because how I came back to the hobby is what happened between.
Oh, go ahead. Talk about it, Josh. How did you come back to the hobby?
So I'm probably the typical thing. I did it as a kid, and then I grew up, and then I got married. You know, we were gonna have our first kid. And then my wife, 3 months into the pregnancy, got preeclampsia.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my son was born 1 pound, 16 ounces.
Oh, man.
That's low.
Yeah. She, because of the preeclampsia, gave her blood pressure high enough to basically give her bursted a blood vessel in her brain. So she was in coma for 3 days. So, you know, that's kind of what, you know, started it. And then probably 3-4 months after that, everybody was home. Everything was fine. But when you go through something like that and then you get home and all you have is that work and trying to sleep, I eventually at some point basically lit the candle at both ends and with no sleep started burning the middle of that candle. So I ended up losing that really, really nice job probably about 9 months later. I needed an outlet because I was looking for work, dealing with all that. And for the most part, stress is what brought me back into the hobby. And most people understand that once I tell them the whole situation, kind of that avalanche that brought me kind of back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, you know, they're all pretty much healthy. So now I've got 2 3D printers. I've got 2 or 3 computers out here. I just bought an airbrush station. So now the hobby's just kind of
taking over.
Yeah, taking over a little bit. But the thing that I will say about that is, like, there's times where my wife tells me I have to come out here to the bench because I'm driving her absolutely bonkers. You know, because I don't get stressed out as much anymore, but you can tell that I haven't been out here in a while just by you know, the way I'm acting, or I don't have that stress relief, so I'm not really a nice guy to be around sometimes. You know, but that's how I've kind of dealt with the stress in my life.
So just on that, Angela's obviously she's listening to what you're saying, and she's just put a thumb up to me and said, "That's what I keep telling you. You need to go out to the bench." And so
well, you don't need to go out.
No, well, I need to go to the bench or whatever.
Your bench isn't out. It's gonna be out.
Right. Okay. Anyway, carry on watching your program. Right. So Gordon, I know that you've been through a lot, like myself and Josh. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. It's not a problem. It's
been around then, Mark.
Yeah. Let me just. There you go.
Yeah, well, mental health. Where do I start? Right. What was it? Yeah, I've got a similar sort of thing as yourself. I'm below knee amputee, same leg as yourself. So I would take the piss out to each other because we understand. Mine all started off when the kids left school. The last one left school and the final one left home. And he left home and I got real bad depression because I got what we call over here, I don't know if it's called the same as they, empty nest syndrome.
Yep.
You've
Sorry,
gone
what
from
was that?
empty nest syndrome.
Yeah,
I'm not
there yet.
Because I was a single parent bringing up 4 kids on my own, the youngest one, Guy, he was only 8 months old when the ex left. So my whole world for 22, 23 years revolved around getting up, getting the kids ready for school, getting them fed, getting them off to school, making sure they behaved at school, right? Usual stuff. And then all of a sudden that stops. Then you go, oh shit, what am I going to do now? And I had about a month of it. And I was starting to go stir crazy. And I thought, right. And I literally got up, got dressed, walked to the front door, opened the front door, and I says to myself, right, now it's Dad's time. Dad needs something. Dad needs a job. So I walked out. I got home about 5 o'clock and I'd got a job, 3-month contract working in a warehouse. On my feet all day for 12 hours a day. Did that for 3 months. And the last day I was there, I couldn't walk to my car. I crawled to my car because I couldn't walk. I was in that much pain. And 12 months later, found out I got an extremely rare form of cancer and they were going to take my leg off. And that was where the bowl of spaghetti started. Because to me, mental health and the problems you get, it's multifaceted. It's like trying to untangle a ball of string to make sense of it. And the harder you try, the more it got knotted up. All right. And once the leg came off, I got that get up and go attitude of I want to get back on my motorbike. I don't want to stop me. So I pushed myself for 2 months. I learned to walk again. And within 2 months of the amputation, I'd got a motorbike again. Yeah, it was a rather large, big scooter. But I was back on the road. And at the time, that was my relief valve. If I was feeling down in the dumps, couldn't cope, couldn't focus, put my togs on, get out on the bike, didn't matter whether it was raining, snowing, sunshining, you name it, I was out. And Well, that's how things muddled along for a few years. And then all of a sudden, bump, the panic attacks come. Right? And if somebody's never had a panic attack, right, a full-blown panic attack, they ain't got a clue what it's like. Right? It depends on how it hits you and how it affects you. Right? But it's one of the most terrifying things that I've ever been through. Right? And you haven't got a clue where it's come from, what's caused it, anything. Right? And you literally think you are going nuts. Right? And I went to see the doc. Yeah, take these will make you better. Ah, right. We're going down that route, are we? Yeah. Can't bother with your counselling to go with it to try and understand it. Anyway, for the last, 3-4 years, I'm a bit like Mark, right? I've got nobody anymore that I can pick up the phone and say, come on, let's go for a beer, right? Because all of my so-called buddies, as soon as they realise you've got a mental health problem, they've gone, can't see them for dust because they don't understand, right? And it got me really down. And the kids, well, Carl, the one that's here, and the youngest one, bought me the tablet, which I've got here. And that connected me to YouTube. And I started watching a lot of YouTubers and stuff and getting into chat. And that's where I got in with 1 or 2 groups and stuff. And that's great for a bit, but it fizzles out after a bit. And so-called mates, so-called confidants, people that you really thought you knew, either shit on you or walk away from you because it gets too intense at times. And it's got to the stage now where I have video conferences at least once a week with my counsellor because I went to see my prosthetics guy. And I was been measured up for a new leg, having a new cast. And I just broke down in front of him. I was in pieces, man. And he turned around and says to me, hang on a minute. He says, I've got to fetch one of the physios in. And she came in and we went through what been bothering me and stuff. And I got diagnosed with PTSD. And it was mental health related anxiety and panic. But now I understand it a little bit more and how it works and how it affects you. All right. I can cope with it a little bit better. I'm not out of the woods. It's like we were sat in this before we went live. Yeah, we were having a chat, having a bit of a giggle. Poor old Gordon was sitting inside crapping himself. And that's how it gets you. Right, you can feel on the outside. You can feel Mr. Nice and calm, but the inside, your head's screwing you up.
Right. I've always got your back, Gordon. You know that.
And this is it. This is what annoys me, and this is why a lot of people can't understand why I won't put YouTube content up on my channel, because I don't need the shit that I'm going to get from it. Right, and Mark knows what I can do. Me and Gil have got similar sort of background and stuff with bike tanks, cars, automotives and stuff. I've also worked on the real thing. I've worked on the aircraft and stuff. And it gets really confusing and get overwhelming at times. And you get in with a group of people and you call them your mates and then they shit on you and stuff, and it really gets you and puts you back to square one at times. But that's the same with people out on the street.
Yeah,
you've got people out in the street that you think that your mates, like my so-called biking buddies, right? I'll give you an example, right? I last saw them before the op was around about March of 2015, right? And I didn't see one of them until Christmas of that year because not one of them believed I'd lost my leg. And it's like now, all through COVID, right? Have any of them phoned me to see how I am? No, not one of them. Yeah, I went to school with most of them. And so we used to really lark and horse and twat about and stuff and get into a fair amount of trouble as well. But not one of us been in touch. But this is where I find YouTube and watching other people do theirs. And it's like Mark said, right? He's trying to help people into the hobby and help people that have got problems with kids. It's like we were on about today when I messaged Mark that got to give him a shout out, Stu over at Airshow World. Right, went out to East Midlands Airport, had a bit of a chat with him, and he's another guy similar to ourselves. And he goes out and he does live shows from the airports or from a military base. It's plane spotting. Right.
I did watch that. I did watch it.
And he mentioned us a few times on the show tonight, well, this afternoon. And it's really confusing and really gets you down to this. I call it like a pit of despair, right? And you try and just climb out of this frigging black hole, right? And you almost get to the top and something happens and you fall back down at the bottom again. And you've got to start all over again. And that happens daily.
Yeah.
And that's how it gets me, right? It's like this week, I've not been about much this week because I've had problems with the old teeth, same as Mark had. And I've just not been in the right place with my head or physically to sit and go into a hangout or sit and do any modelling.
Yeah.
And at times I have to force myself to come to the bench to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah.
Right. But Mark's got Angela there to say, get your ass to the bench and do something.
Yeah.
I ain't got nobody to do that. It's all down to me.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where it's like my counsellor turns around and says, you've got to take it in little small doses. Right? Little steps, little battles along the way. Right? And she turned around and says to me when I first started seeing her, because Jess, she's a counsellor that deals with cancer patients that have got stage 4 terminal cancer. And she turned around and says to me, she says, I see a lot of this in the patients that I see what you're going through. She says, half of your recovery is going to come from yourself, is learning about your mental health problem. What it is, how it affects you, because it's down to an individual basis. Right? Not everybody suffers from the same. Right? And since I've been talking to Jess and we've been working through Jess, I've got a big meeting at the hospital on Tuesday with 5 departments, and we've got something in mind to give me another shove along the line to get me back to being more like my old self, which is right up my street if we can pull it off and we can do it. But I've got to wait to see how it goes, because with COVID, everybody's gone into panic mode. And all the departments have either shut down or everything's done over the phone. But it really does get you down. And I'm hoping that next week is going to be the start of the turning point where I go into recovery mode and not existing.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it's like she turned around and says to me, She says, yeah, you're on some really heavy duty stuff here that I have to take. Well, she turned around and says to me, she says, if you want this to work, she says, you've got to try and do two things. I says, what's that? She says, try and stop drinking and try and stop smoking. I said, well, one I can do. I says, but the other I can't. She says, because one will work and one won't. And it's been a constant battle. And
what is it? What is it she said you had to give up, Gordon?
drinking or smoking. Because she turned around and said, yeah, well, it's back to the old apple and what's name again. And she said to me, the reason I'd got to stop the drinking because was the medication that I was on, the alcohol that I was drinking would be nullified, would nullify the medication. So if I wanted the medication to work, I'd got to stop drinking. So that's what I did. And because I stopped drinking, then I started comfort eating. So you replace one thing with another.
Okay, I'm with you.
And that's why I put so much weight on at the moment, because of comfort eating. And it's all down to the mental health. It's how your head's screwed up.
I put 50 kilos on in hospital over a period of 6 months because they'd got me on bed rest. They'd got me on total bed rest. And like you, I started comfort eating. Well, I didn't recognize it as comfort eating. I just ate. I got nothing to do. So I just ate. And people would bring me stuff and I'd eat it. They'd bring me more stuff and I'd eat it. And I put 60 kilos on.
Yeah.
I've never been able to shift that. I had a stomach bypass.
Switch the camera, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just bear with me. Yeah, I had a stomach bypass, and even that failed. I don't know what to say. I've been diagnosed with PTSD as well, but mine's because of all the trauma I've had. I've been through a lot. I'm not trying to say that I've been through more than anyone else or anything like that. I've just been through a lot, and mine's trauma based. I had a group of people try to kill me when I was much, much younger. And there was that. The fact that I got attacked again and lost a leg, and, them sort of things. But the one thing that helped me through all this was the fact that I was determined that I wanted to help other people that were in a similar situation. And I didn't know how to do that. And then the modeling came along and I started to see things going on. And round about the time, just before the guy that does that's got the charity Models for Heroes, just before he started, I was like, this would be so good to help other people. And then Models for Heroes came out, and what a great job he's done of that, I must say. But I just wanted to help other people. That's all I wanted to do. I've been in groups. They couldn't cope with the depression that I was suffering. And it's not nice. I will be honest. It's not nice. If you get somebody that's got depression and they're in your group and they're feeling low, it's not great. That. So anyway, I moved on, and I started my own thing. And I wanted. Originally, we were called
Misfits.
Misfits. That was it. Yeah. Originally, the channel was called Misfits. I started it with another chap. Unfortunately, he's since passed away. and it just turned to sprue surgery and sprue cast, and all I've ever wanted to do is help people that suffer from depression or anxiety. And Gordon was one of the first people that I met. We didn't know at the time that each of us were very, very much alike in what was happening in our lives and so on. And it's ironic because it took me a long, long time to coax Gordon into doing a lot of this stuff, and I think we've helped each other. I just think it's worked for us. We've helped each other, and we may not have seen eye to eye on it. I mean, yeah, it's just been, and Gordon knows he can trust me now. I'm not gonna stab him in the back. I'm not gonna wander off and join somewhere else or do something else, and and so if anyone's out there and they have anxiety or they have depression or and they're struggling to cope, join a channel. You can join my channel, Sprue Surgery Waiting Room, or you can go to any channel. Gil's got a great channel where they meet up every night and they're very friendly. I've been in the groups on Gil's channel occasionally, and I'm never made to feel like an outsider or anything like that. Or you can go anywhere. Just get into a group. So if you don't like it, then come out and try another group.
Yeah.
There's so many out there.
Yeah, eventually you'll find one that fits you.
But please don't sit there at home mulling things over, wondering whether, what has life got left for me. Honestly, I can tell you, I've been through it. I've had all them thoughts, as I'm sure Gordon has. Don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. You can come in and you can start with the Hangouts. You can come in on a Hangout like we've got here, but not online. And you get talking to people, you make new friends. I've made some brilliant friends. Gordon, Bob, Paul, to name just a few. And they're really good friends to me.
But same as you say, Mark. Yeah, I used to come into the Hangouts, and you came up with the idea of doing the Spruecast and stuff, and it was like trying to crack a hard-boiled egg to get me to come in and do it with you.
Yeah, you didn't want to do it at all. You were sort of keen. You were sort of interested, but
yeah, that brick wall was up. The defences were up, and it was no way.
Yeah, that's.
Josh was the first one I got. I've been badgering Paul. I've been badgering Gordon for ages. I wanted to do, because way before the Spruecast, I'd wanted to do a podcast of some sort. Even a year or more before this all started, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't get it going. Couldn't get things going. And I tried with Gordon. I had no success. I put a message out on the main channels that I was on saying that I wanted to start a podcast, but I needed somebody else. I couldn't do it on my own. And Josh was the first person to reply. In fact, Josh was the only person to reply. And it was, I don't mean that in a bad way, Josh.
You know, Mark, I have found one of the reasons I stopped doing live hangouts on YouTube was because it makes some of the people that have these issues uncomfortable. They don't want to be on a live hangout.
Yeah.
And I had one or two choices to make. Either keep doing it live and disregard their feelings or what they thought, the people that come into our hangouts.
Yeah.
Or stop doing it, include everybody. So I just said, I'll stop doing it. I just stopped doing them. There's many reasons, but that's one of the main reasons I stopped doing live hangouts was because I get feedback from people. And believe me, my phone goes off 24/7. My Facebook is always on. Even if I'm logged off on the computer, it's on my phone. So I get more messages than I did. Sometimes it's like, oh, really, man? I'm 3:00 in the morning, and I'm getting messages. But most of them, a lot of them were like, hey, I'd love to join, but man, I'm not doing a live hangout. And I would ask why. What is it about the live hangout that you don't like? And they would tell me. And then I took that into account, because I got a great group of guys that come in there. We cut up, we have a ball, we laugh, we joke. Yeah. Sometimes there's 3 people in there, sometimes there's 10. A lot of people just don't want to do it live, so I stopped doing it live.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, I'm not going to relate my story, but you've heard it when you interviewed me that one time. I told you what my story was.
Yeah.
And it keeps me busy, keeps this busy. I'm one of those that I'm always thinking and I'm always reading. I mean, I'm a voracious reader. I love to read. So yeah. I'll read anything,
I'm a big reader.
Yeah, I'm always looking for information on something, and I'm always, but that doesn't cut it for me. That didn't scratch the itch, that was here.
Yeah.
And this did. All this is my wife's fault, I was an artist as a youngster, a painter, whatever. And she just said, paint again. And I'm like, paint again. And it helped me come out of my funk. Yeah. So that's why I do what I do, because I know there are people like me out there, like you, like Gordon, like Josh. There's people like us out there. They just need some. And then, look, in our hangouts, man, we got people of all walks of life, and a few of them are damaged. Let me put it that way. I don't mean that in a negative way. I know what I'm saying. And a little compassion helps them. A little compassion, man, and a little push. I mean, I get it all. Hey, you guys doing a hangout tonight? No, but so-and-so is, you're going to be there. No, I don't need to be there. You can go in there with these guys. They'll be fine. They'll treat you decently,
Yeah.
Stuff like that there, I mean, like you said, find a community. There's thousands of them out there. Find
one you gel with.
If you don't like the vibe, leave and join another one. All groups are not healthy to you. I mean, I've noticed there's groups out there that are not conducive to what you need. Find one that the people, they don't ridicule you, look down on you, whatever. Find one that you can open up and be yourself in without being, whatever. And in the meantime, you learn how to do some stuff. You learn how to do something.
You will find in the end, when you find the group that you really belong to, you'll know it.
Oh, you'll know it. And then you look forward to seeing them. You look forward to joining in with them. You look for, if you do it twice a week, you look forward to those 2 days a week. And then you find a group of people where you can message them and say, hey man, I'm having a bad day. What do you think? Blah, 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 blah. You go back and forth, but those are the groups those groups are out there. I know mine is like that. Styrene Syndicate, Red Dragon Model Works, they're like that. I don't post as much as I used to on my Red Dragon Model Works. I do, but the Syndicate is the main page for me. So that's where people, they gravitate towards that. And then when they're in our hangouts after a while, man, I mean, we have a ball, you know. I mean, we cut each other up, but it's all good fun, you know. And you get somebody laughing, and that if you can get somebody that's feeling down, you get them laughing, you get them cutting up, you make them feel a little better for at least a few hours, you know.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's like Mark's got the spruce surgery waiting room, right? 9 times out of 10, when he puts Hangout up, he puts the Hangout link up on the Facebook page. And 9 times out of 10, there's usually up to about 6 of us that are in there, right? But he's got quite a few members in the spruce surgery in the waiting room on his Facebook page, right? And if there's anybody in that group that has got a problem with paint, glues, fillers, or whatever, or they just want somebody to sit and have a chat to while they're at the bench, right?
Yeah.
Just click on the link. If you've got a camera, you've got a mic, just click on, come and join us and have a laugh. We don't, right? We get slated and stuff, we get called, but it's same as Gil was saying, just put your man pants on and just ignore it. But all we're trying to do is to promote the hobby and to gain interest and get people in there and help. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I even had somebody that wanted to they wanted to model. They didn't want to talk. They didn't want to do anything else. They just wanted to model with somebody else. No discussion, just so I set up a thing where we would go on a morning for a short period of time, and we would just model. There was no music, no chit chat, no nothing, but we would just model. Occasionally we'd pass comment, but that's my tea turning up. Apologies. The dog just.
I get a few of those, Mark, where guys will come in and sometimes they'll put the camera on and they don't say a word. They're just sitting there listening. And it's okay. That's all right. You know, it helps. You know, I mean, we'll say hello to them, you know, what's the name, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, and then you realize quickly that they're not there to talk. They're there for the company. You know? And you respect that. You kind of respect that. You know, you ask them a question here and there and they'll answer you, but they're not there for the discussion. They're there for the company. You know?
Yeah.
And you got to respect that, you know, and that's, you know, I encourage it. If you want to come in, just as long as you got your camera on, show us what you're working on. You don't have to say a word, you know?
Yeah. Well, I've been in other groups where if you don't speak, they don't want you in. That, you know, they say, you know, we can have somebody else in that will talk.
You don't contribute to group chat.
Yeah. So, I mean,
everybody has their own way of doing them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's their thing, you know, and I understand it.
So I will say this about that particular topic. I think now with the way these live streams are going, that kind of goes away because you can have more than 10 people in the hangout. If someone just wants to hang out and do the, you know, just sit at the bench, they can now while everybody else is talking because you can have up to 50 people in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, this is always going to be a topic in our hobby because, you know,
yeah, it is
gravitate.
It's something that's part. I don't know. It always comes hand in hand with modelling. You know, whether it's because it's mainly men that do it and they don't talk about their feelings as such. Who knows? I don't know, but that's it really. There's nothing else I could. Anyone else got anything else they want to add on that?
Oh, we've got 10 people in chat and only a few chit-chatting.
Yeah, so we'll just have a look at the chat briefly.
If there's anybody in chat, right, that's got any modelling related problems, stick a question up. We'll try and answer it. Right. If there's anybody in chat that's got a few demons that's rattling the cage, chuck it in. Let's talk about it.
So an interesting point Dave Price puts, just to be clear, the NHS is not free. We pay tax for it, but it is there for all, rich or poor, employed or out of work. So
Read my message.
he is right. I'm coming down to that. So he is right. It is there for all. Probably poor choice of words saying it was free. So then we come down and Angela's shouting in my ear. Well, she's not shouting in my ear. She's telling me I've got to read this. What Mr. Sprue means by free is that if you need urgent care, it is there for you, no matter whether you are rich or poor, employed or out of work. Yeah, so you know you have the care there if you need it. Yeah, that's basically what I meant. Free's probably a poor choice of words, but
Yeah.
No, this is it. It's like, yes, I knew about roughly how the medical services work over in the States, but I didn't realise to the extent that it was until like what Josh and like Gil had said tonight.
yeah, I didn't believe it was that bad. I mean, blinking hell, they would actually just let somebody. Oh, I just can't understand what kind of callous individual. Even if you're working for a company, you're working for the hospital, they're telling you've got to go out and say to somebody that's lying on the floor dying, have you got insurance? And if you haven't, oh, well, we'll get round to you whenever we can. It's horrible.
I mean, I don't. You're going to open up a political conversation in a minute, but
Yeah.
but to say the least, our healthcare system is broken. It really is. At the end of the day, it is really broken.
Yeah.
Because if you're letting people die because they haven't got any money, then that's almost murder. And I know people are going to hate that, and I'm going to cause a real shitstorm by saying that. But to me, that's basically what's happening. That's what it sounds like.
I'm sorry, Mark. I had a phone call. What was that? I had to walk away for a minute. What was that you're talking about?
We were
Well,
talking
about the American health system, and
It's broken.
I just and I know that there's going to be loads of people that disagree with me, and they're going to I don't know, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about or whatever. But to me, if you're basing your decision on whether to let somebody live or die on the amount of cash they have in their wallet, that's murder. You're killing somebody because they don't have enough money in their wallet. It's just disgusting.
It's the system we have here.
and it's not going to get fixed anytime soon, unfortunately.
And here's the thing, just to touch on it just a little bit, and like you said, it might cause a shitstorm with some people that, I don't care.
Yeah.
We pay a pretty significant portion of our wages and our money goes into taxes. You got your property tax, your income tax, your sales tax, your state tax. Everything you buy, everything you do in this country, and I'm sure it's in everywhere else, is taxed. So anywhere between a good 20 to 35% of your income is tax. Now that's on the low end. So where's the money going? They tell us, oh, we need to build a new roads. They're going to tax us again, but the roads are so shit. We need to do this. You know, we got to do this. The schools, the this, everything. My. Here, I'll give you an example. My estate taxes, my real estate taxes for this home, and I got a big home and a huge yard. It's close to $6,000 a year. 2/3 of that go to my school, to the school system.
Yep.
Yet, now I get it. The collective, everybody pays in for a good education, blah, blah, blah. But the kid goes to school and he's got to buy the books. He's got fees, you know, for classes. You know, if he wants to take an extracurricular activity, there's more fees there. Then they send home these little things. You got to sell cookies and all this other stuff to help the school. What the hell are you doing with that money? On top of the taxes that I'm paying, you know, the $3,000 a year that I'm paying, and that's just one house, $3,000-4,000 a year. I still have to kick out a couple $100 extra for that year. So it's like, why?
I can tell you, but so you have a school board, right? Not part of the school principal. I'm talking about just a school district has a board, right? Well, each one of them guys are not making. They're taking home over $100,000 a year.
Easy.
Plus, that's why the school systems suck here, and it's the same like health insurance. I have all the health insurance. It comes out of my wife's check. We basically spend anywhere between $200 and $300 per check. 2 checks a month
For your insurance.
for insurance. It's fucking crap.
And go buy your medications if you don't have insurance.
Oh my God.
Insulin for diabetics.
Yeah, I'm diabetic.
$2-3 grand a month.
You're joking.
A month.
A month.
Without insurance, that's what you would spend.
Without insurance, that's what you're going to spend. Oh, we could talk about this forever, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yet that same insulin, you can get it overseas for pennies on a dollar.
Well, right. So even if we pay for it over here, I'm diabetic. So even if I had to pay for my insulin, how much is a prescription at the moment, Angela? £9.40 prescription.
You were paying that here.
So that's per item. So even if I had to pay for that, that's £9. So for me, that would be £18 a month just for the insulin, right? But you're saying how many thousand?
A few thousand a month.
With insurance, you're probably looking like $100.
Where are they buying it from? Are they buying their insulin direct from Colombia?
These people have look. There's I can't remember the name of the drug right offhand.
Disgrace.
You remember that kid they called him the farmer? They just locked him up. They called him Pharma Bro. It's Big Pharma. This kid bought a drug that had the patent had run out.
All right.
I don't remember what the drug was, and I'm just paraphrasing here. But the pill per pill or per prescription, whatever, was a few dollars. He gets a hold of this thing. His company, and they're still doing it, gets a hold of this thing. People used to pay like $50 a prescription. It went up to almost $900.
Oh.
It's greed, man. That's what it is. And here's the interesting part, Mark. You know who pays for most of the research for this medicine? We do.
No.
We do. Our taxes pays for it. We do.
It's a disgrace.
So what they end up doing is we fund the research for these medicines, and they turn around and sell it to us at a markup of about 500%. But yet we fund it. That's politicians. We fund it, they get rich.
And here's the flip side of that coin he didn't tell you. Politicians don't pay for their health insurance. It's absolutely free. No the medication, everything. They pay $0.
They got what is called diamond insurance.
Oh,
if
God.
you're in office, they pay a little bit out of their check, that they get. But once they're out of office, I believe it's a senator, if he's done 2 terms, which is 8 years, and if you've got a congressman, which is about 4 terms, I think 4 or 5 terms, because each term is 2 years, they have that insurance for life.
Yeah.
So does their spouse, and so does their children. For life.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Sure.
Your country needs to overhaul it. And I can't understand for the life of me when, I know I'm going to cause a shitstorm with this one. When Barack Obama, or whatever his name is, when he tried to make healthcare like ours over here, he's just getting shit from all angles, especially your current president, Trump.
Yeah, I won't get into the politics of that, but
no, but I'm just saying it just seemed ridiculous. Why wouldn't you want free healthcare?
Because it was a Democrat that proposed it.
Is that it? Is that all it's over because he's a Democrat?
Well, there's other reasons, because the big pharma will fund stuff to make. You have people that, again, I don't want to get it. I'm not going to get into it. Just put it this way: there's a lot of money invested into making you think it's bad for you. There's a lot of money invested. Yeah. Here's a better way to put it, Mark. There's a lot of money invested in convincing the mouse to take the cheese from the trap.
Yeah.
You convince the mouse that it's okay to take that cheese, but forget about the mousetrap. So the mouse thinks it's okay. Oh, this is good for me, and wham!
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it. It's easy.
Another way of explaining it, I think, would be that, and I believe this: if they came up with a cure for diabetes, for example, I don't think we'd ever be told.
Same thing with cancer. Cancer industry in this country, I don't know about overseas, but in this country, is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, there's no benefit.
There's no benefit
in announcing we've got a cure for cancer, we've got a cure for diabetes. Not going to happen because they'll lose so many millions of dollars.
Trillions. There's too much money invested into keeping you with the medication than there is to give you the cure. Because if you get the cure, if you get cancer in this country, man, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, Gil will know this. Back in the 70s, I bet you doctors didn't make much more than you ever did working in the production field.
The doctor that delivered me lived in my neighborhood. He had a small clinic in my neighborhood, and he wasn't driving around in no Porsche or nothing like. Dude, you go to a dentist here to get a tooth taken out, it's going to cost you a couple $100 just to have a tooth pulled. Most people don't have dental insurance. Even with dental insurance, the deductible is going to kill you. You go to get a tooth and anything done with it, you're talking a few $1,000s, man. So a lot of people say, "Fuck it, just pull it. It cost me $300. Yank the fucking thing." So it's crazy, man. Yeah, you can get on this. I mean, the politics behind it is insane. And here's the funny thing.
Anyway,
most of the dentists that I've seen, they gotten their degree in Mexico, so it's paid for. And then they come over here and just, Anyway, it's a long subject, Mark. We could be on it forever. We've been on 2 hours already, so.
Yeah, I think we need to wrap it up there because we've gone off on a tangent a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks to everyone that has stayed with us and has watched it. Yeah, it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. Nothing's going to change. But, it just does the soul good to have a bit of a rant every now and then.
Every now and then it does. Yeah, every now and then you just got to let it out, man,
So, anyway, we'll see you all next week. And bye from me.
Bye-bye, guys. Have a good week.
Bye.
Build a model. Build a model, man. Build a model.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that really went off on one, didn't it?